SCSMath West London, continuing with our morning morning program we've been doing, and now we're going to do some reading. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jai Shri Krishna Kaviraj Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktivinoda, Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktivinoda. So we're Majji Leela, chapter 9, and we've been hearing about Mahaprabhu being with a Brahmana who was disturbed because he thought that Ravana had captured Sita, and he said, no, this is just some external material consideration, don't be disturbed. And he was fasting and he didn't want to live anymore. But Mahaprabhu said, no, this is just a material consideration. Trust me, everything's okay. Have faith in my words. Do not burden your mind any longer with this misconception. That was where we left off yesterday. And so now, Prabhura Bachane Viprera Hoila Vishwas, Bhojana Koila Hoila Jivanera Asha. Although the Brahmana was fasting, he had faith in the words of Mahaprabhu and accepted food. In this way, his life was saved. Tari Ashvasya Prabhu Karila Gamana, Krita Malaya, Snana Kori Aila Durvashana. After thus assuring the Brahmana, Mahaprabhu proceeded further into southern India and finally arrived at Durvashan, Jai Gurudev, where he bathed in the river Kritamala. Durvashani Raghunathe, Kaila Darshan, Mahindra Saile, Parashur Amera Kaila Bandan. At Durvashan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Lord Ramachandra on the hill known as Mahendra Shaila. He saw Lord Parashuram. Setubande Ashi Kaila, Danush Tirthe Snana, Rameshvara Deki Tahan Kaila Vishram. Mahaprabhu then went to Setubanda, which is Rameshwar, where he took his bath at the place called Danush Tirtha. From there, he visited the Rameshwar temple and then took rest. Vipra Sabaya Shune Taha Kurma Purana Taramaje Aila Patibrata Upakyana. There, among the Brahmanas, Mahaprabhu listened to the Kurma Purana, wherein is mentioned the chaste woman's narration. Patibrata Shiramani Janaka Nandini Jagatera Mata Sita Ramira Grihini. Srimati Siti Devi is the mother of the three worlds and the wife of Lord Ramachandra. Among chaste women, she is supreme, and she is the daughter of King Janaka. Ravana Dekiya Sita Laila Agnira Sharana, Ravana Hoite Agni Koila Sita Ke Avarana. When Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita and she saw him, she took shelter of the fire god Agni. The fire god covered the body of Mother Sita, and in this way she was protected from the hands of Ravana. Maya Sita Ravana Nila Shunira Akyane Shuni Mahaprabhu Hoila Ananditamane. Okay, upon hearing from the Kurma Purana how Ravana had kidnapped a false form of Mother Sita, Mahaprabhu became very satisfied. Sita Laya Rakilena Parvitira Stane Maya Sita Dia Agni Vanchila Ravane. The fire god Agni took away the real Sita and brought her to the place of Parvati, goddess Durga. An illusory form of Mother Sita was then delivered to Ravana, and in this way Ravana was cheated. Raghunatha Ashijabe Ravane Marila Agni Parikshadite Jabe Sitare Anila. After Ravana was killed by Lord Ramachandra, Sita Devi was brought before the fire and tested. Tabe Maya Sita Agni Kore Antadana Satya Sita Ani Dila Rama Vidyamana. When the illusory Sita was brought before the fire by Lord Ramachandra, the fire god made the illusory form disappear and delivered the real Sita to Lord Ramachandra. So, at that time, everyone was very disturbed because Ramachandra was, because, he was the follower of Vedic principles, then Sita had been, apparently abducted by this demon, and so therefore she could be considered unchaste, and then to prove that she was chaste, it was proposed that she walk into fire, and if she goes into the fire and doesn't die, then she's chaste, or if she does die, then she is unchaste. And everyone was freaking out because they're saying, no, this isn't appropriate to ask Sita Devi to go into fire. This is like inconceivable thing to force her to be tested in this way. But anyway, Ramachandra, because he is the upholder of all religious principles, then he went ahead and continued with this sacrifice, I guess, of testing Sita, and then, as we hear now, then this false Sita that Ravana had went into the fire, and then out came the real Sita, who had previously taken shelter of Agni, the fire god. So.
And it also, it could be said that, like, it's not that he himself was thinking she needed to be tested. He was proving.
Yeah, he was proving that she was chaste. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't disturbed. He knew what was going on. Shunina Prabhura Anandita Hoilamana Ramadasa Vipera Kata Hoila Smaran. When Mahaprabhu heard this story, he was very pleased, and he remembered the words of Ramadas Vipra. Okay, so he's just been with that Vipra, and he was disturbed, was fasting because he didn't understand that there was a false Sita and that the real Sita was never touched by Ravana. So then Mahaprabhu is seeing this. He's very happy. Hey Sabha Siddhanta Shuni Prabhura Ananda Hoila Brahmanera Stani Magi Sei Patra Nila. Indeed, when Mahaprabhu heard these conclusive statements from the Kurma Purana, he felt great happiness. After asking the Brahmana's permission, he took possession of the manuscript leaves of the Kurma Purana. Okay, so he took the actual text. Nutana Patra Lekaya Pushtake Deaila Pratitalagi Puratana Patra Magi Nila. Since the Kurma Purana was very old, the manuscript was also very old. Mahaprabhu took possession of the original leaves in order to have direct evidence. The text was copied onto new leaves in order that the Purana be replaced. Patralaya Puna Dakshina Mathura Aila Ramadasa Viprase Patra Anidila. Mahaprabhu returned to southern Mathura and delivered the original manuscript of the Kurma Purana to Ramadas Vipra. Sitiyara Dito Vashnis Chaya Sitam Ajijanat Tangjahara Dasagriva Sitavani Puram Gata Pariksha Samaye Vanim Chaya Sita Viveshasa Vani Sitam Samaniya Tat Purushat Aninayat. Okay, and they're from the Kurma Purana. When he was petitioned by Mother Sita, the fire god Agni brought forth an illusory form of Sita, and Ravana, who had 10 heads, kidnapped the false Sita. Okay, well, this is the whole story. The original Sita then went to the abode of the fire god. When Lord Ramachandra tested the body of Sita, it was the false illusory Sita that entered the fire, At that time, the fire god brought the original Sita from his abode and delivered her to Lord Ramachandra. There we go. Yes. The actual words. Patrapaya viperahoila analitaman pravracharane dari karye krandan. Ramadas Vipra was very pleased to receive the original leaf manuscript of the Kurma Purana, and he immediately fell down before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to cry. Viprakahe tumi shakshat Sri Raghunandan sanyasira veshe more dila darashan. After receiving the manuscript, the Brahmana, being very pleased, said, "Sir, you are Lord Ramachandra himself and have come in the dress of a sannyasi to give me audience." Mahadukka haite more korila nistar, ajimora gare bhiksha kara angikar. My dear sir, you have delivered me from a very unhappy condition. I request that you take your lunch at my place. Please accept this invitation. Mano dukhe bala bhiksha nadila se dine, mora bhagye punarapi pailundarashane. Due to my mental distress, I could not give you a very nice lunch the other day. Now, by good fortune, you have come again to my home. Etta bole se vipra sukhe paka koila, uttama prakare prabhuke bhiksha karaila. In saying this, the Brahmana very happily cooked food and a first-class dinner was offered to Mahaprabhu. Se ratri tahan rahi tanri kripa kare, panjadeshe tamrapani gela gaurahari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed that night in the house of the Brahmana. Then, after showing him mercy, the Lord started toward the Tamraparni river in Panjadesh. Okay, so we might stop there. Mahaprabhu can continue on his travels tomorrow, and we can read a little bit from Religion of the Heart by Srila Gurudev. So Jai Shri Krishna Kaviraj ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, and Service of Vrindavan. Okay, I think we're in the right spot. Okay, we've made it to chapter 1, the Service of Vrindavan, from Religion of the Heart by Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Sri Sri Radha Govinda. He appeared in this world to relish the sweetness of the transcendental mellows which Srimati Radharani tasted in love of Krishna. Krishna did not have the opportunity, therefore he appeared as Sri Gaurangadev. We can understand this by this shloka of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. Okay, now Kerakidamba is going to recite it for us. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Asnad Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Katao Tao Chaitanyakyang Prakatam Adhuna Tadya Dvayam Chaityam Aptam Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam. Okay, then Sri Rupa Goswami has also written Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Girisho Vanayaiva Swajo Jenabudha Madhurima Girisho Va Madhya Sokyang Shashamad Anubhavata Kidrisham Veti Lovat Tad Bhavadja Samajani Sachigarba Sindao Harindo. Once our Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshitadev Goswami Maharaj, was preaching in South India and he was invited to speak at an assembly of pundits. When Srila Guru Maharaj was seated, the pundits asked him some questions. They were all expert in Sanskrit and vastly learned in all respects. They asked him who, in his opinion, was the supreme devotee of the Lord. They said they considered the Chatushan, the 4 Kumar sages, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar, to be the supreme devotees of the Lord. At first, Srila Guru Maharaj did not say anything, so the head Pandit directly asked him, "Can you tell us, sir, who you think the best devotee of the Lord is?" Srila Guru Maharaj said, "I can tell you, but can you accept what I say?" The head Pandit replied, "Yes, if it is reasonable, we can accept it." Then Guru Maharaj said, "In our conception, the Chatushan are primary grade devotees." The Pandits were shocked to hear this. They asked Guru Maharaj who, in his opinion, was a higher class devotee. Guru Maharaj answered, "There is a shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam that differs from your claim, and since you have all read Srimad Bhagavatam, why do you say the 4 Kumaras are the supreme devotees?" Then Guru Maharaj quoted that shloka, "Na tatha ma priyatma atma joni na sankaraha, na cha sankarshano na shir, na eva atma cha jatha bhavan." Here, Lord Krishna says to Uddhava, the Chatusan's father, Lord Brahma, is their guru, but he is not as dear to me as you are. Even Shankar, Lord Shiva, who is the greatest Vaishnava, and who is always chanting my holy name, is not as dear to me as you. Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune who resides on my chest, is also not as dear to me as you. Even my own self, Naivatma, is not as dear as you are. You are my most dear devotee. Krishna told Uddhava he is his most dear devotee. And when Srila Guru Maharaj gave this answer, the Pandits were stunned. But after Uddhava went to Vrindavan and saw the Braja Gopis and the Brajavasis' mood of devotion, dedication and wholehearted service, he said, "Asang aho charana renu jusam ahang sang, Vrindavane kim api goma nothosa dinam, yajusya jam svarjanam arja patam chahitva, Bejur Mukunda Padavim Shutibir Vim Migram." Okay, and the quote from that verse is, "If I can take my birth as a piece of grass on the footpaths of Vrindavan where the Vraja Gopis walk, so the dust of their feet will bless me, I will feel my life is successful." There is no doubt Krishna is more satisfied by the devotion of the gopis than he is satisfied with his dearest disciple Brahma, or with his dear brother Sankarshan, or with Sri Lakshmi Devi, who also resides on his chest, or even with his dearmost devotee, Lord Shiva. The Brajavasis, especially the Vraja Gopis, have this type of dedication, devotion, and wholehearted service attitude. And Uddhava, the dearest devotee and disciple of Lord Krishna, declares this. This is real consciousness, and real consciousness is proceeding in this line. Many people have different ideas and conceptions about Krishna consciousness, but they all accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In some of them, Krishna's position is like that of a master. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna like a spiritual master. He gives spiritual knowledge to him, so the followers of this line generally worship the Gita Krishna, or the Krishna who presented the Bhagavad Gita to this world. An example of this is when Krishna and Arjuna were on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and they saw millions of soldiers ready to fight. Previously, Duryodhana and Arjuna both wanted to ask Krishna for his help in the battle. So when Krishna was sleeping, they both went to see him. When Krishna awoke, he saw Arjuna first. Duryodhana was a great personality and like an elder brother to Arjuna. But when Krishna saw Arjuna first, he asked him why he had come. Arjuna said, "King Yudhisthira has sent me to ask for your help in the battle of Kurukshetra." Krishna said, Krishna said, "I thought that was the reason you came, and I think Duryodhana has also come for the same reason. But I am not going to fight in this battle. I shall not use any weapons. If I can give any other help, I will do that. I have millions of soldiers and they can fight. I'm giving you first choice, Arjuna, please choose. Arjuna said, I need you. Krishna said, all right. Then Krishna looked at Duryodhana and said, is that all right with you? Are you happy? Duryodhana said, yes, that is very good, especially if you will not fight. Is that your promise? Krishna replied, yes, I shall not fight. Then Duryodhana said, if you will not fight, then what Arjuna said is all right with me. Shall I get your soldiers? Krishna agreed and said, yes. Both left very happily. Duryodhana was thinking he had all Krishna's soldiers, and Arjuna was happy because Krishna had accepted his proposal. After Duryodhana left, Arjuna said, After Duryodhana left, Arjuna stayed, and Krishna said, Arjuna, you are very foolish. Why did you take me when you heard I would not fight? You could have had all of my soldiers. Arjuna said, I'm not afraid to fight with that group. It is not difficult to fight with them. I can fight with everybody, but I need your help in this battle. I have one request from you. Krishna said, what is your request? Arjuna said, will you be my chariot driver while I'm fighting? Krishna was very happy to hear this. He said, to be a chariot driver is not such a respectable position, but to be your driver is very respectable. I accept your proposal. I'll be very happy to stay with you. When both sides were ready to fight, Arjuna said, Senayo ubhayo madhye ratam stapaya me chuta. Oh Krishna, please place my chariot between the two armies. I want to see who has come to fight. This is very nice and expresses one form of Krishna. He is carrying out the order of Arjuna, and then he instructs Arjuna as a spiritual master. When Krishna was fighting with Kamsa in Mathura, he was young and apparently unqualified. When he came to kill Kamsa, he wasn't carrying much with him. He had only a flute and a stick for herding cows. Hilarious. His dhoti was rolled up like short pants. Kamsa had invited Krishna in order to kill him. Externally, Kamsa announced there would be a wrestling match so there could be some sport between Krishna and Balaram and his wrestlers. But secretly, Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna. One shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam explains how different types of persons saw Krishna when he entered the arena. Malanam asaniyanam naravara srinam smaro murtiman gopanam svajano satam chiti bujjang shasta sva pitro shishu mitchur boja pater virad avidushang tatra parang yoginam vishninam para devatiti vidato rangam gata sagrajaha. So, the translation of that is, all the wrestlers saw Krishna as death personified. They were very much afraid to see this 14-year-old boy. Sorry, it's not really a direct translation. They were very much afraid to see the 14-year-old boy who looked like he was 21. He was tall and wore his dhoti very short, like short pants. When he entered the arena, all the fighters were thinking death personified had come to kill them, even in short pants. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? All the kings and their sons, the princes, saw Krishna as the king of kings, with short pants on. He was actually a cowherd boy, but he appeared as the greatest of all kings. The women were also invited to see the fighting. When they saw Krishna, they saw him as the embodiment of Cupid. When they saw Krishna's beauty and effulgence, they fainted. The cowherd men were also invited. Everyone was invited. The cowherd men were thinking, our friend is coming. Now a member of our society is coming. Our boy is coming. Okay, well that makes sense because he's, carrying a stick and a flute and got this little dhoti hiked up like short pants. Then you can understand how they can see him like that. But it's amazing that everyone else is seeing him as something different, isn't it? The evil kings who were always harassing their people were thinking, our ruler is coming to punish us. Nanda Maharaj and his fatherly group of friends were thinking, our own boy has come. Kamsa was thinking his death had come in the form of Balaram and Krishna. All the religious experts were thinking, Paramatma has come in the form of Balaram and Krishna. The yogis were thinking, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has come. And the members of the Yadu dynasty were thinking, our worshipable relative has come. But a very few exceptional devotees and those who have the finest conception of Krishna consciousness and who come in the line of Mahaprabhu think the perfect conception of Krishna consciousness is fully manifest in Brajadam, where there are 5 kinds of divine ecstatic relationships playing freely and happily with the Lord. A small hint of Krishna's transcendental abode is given in the Brahma Samhita. When Mahaprabhu was in South India, he discovered the Brahma Samhita. He had previously heard of it, but when he saw it, he was surprised and said, Se punti nira lekaya, give me the 5th chapter. The whole book of 100 chapters isn't necessary. I want only the 5th chapter for my devotees. He brought Sri Brahma Samhita as well as Sri Krishna Karnamrita back from South India to Jagannath Puri. During Lord Brahma's meditation on the Gayatri Mantra, Lord Brahma heard the transcendental sound vibration of Krishna's flute, and the whole realm of Vrindavan Dham revealed itself in his heart. He saw everything, the transcendental abode of Krishna, the Braja Gopis playing, the cowherd boys, the trees, the plants, an infinite variety of beautiful flowers, lush ripe fruits, and crystal clear water. He saw the complete environment of Vrindavan in his meditation, and he expressed this in Sri Brahma Samhita. All the women in Krishna's abode are very beautiful. They are like beautiful goddesses, and all wealth is with them. They are always trying to satisfy Krishna, and they always worship him. In Vrindavan, Krishna is the only enjoyer, and everyone supplies enjoyment to him. Therefore, they get double enjoyment. When someone supplies food to another person, who gets the most enjoyment? The person who supplies the food gets the most enjoyment. Krishna is the only enjoyer, but those who supply enjoyment to him get even more enjoyment than him. There is no sadness in Krishna's abode. There, everything exists in a very happy and ecstatic mood. When you eat an apple, the apple is happy to be eaten by you, and you are happy when you are eating the apple. Both are happy. When someone is eating a banana, the banana is happy and laughing. When a person is eating, he is very happy. Everyone is always very happy in Krishna's abode. In Krishna's abode, all the trees are wish-fulfilling trees. If you want a mango from a banana tree, you can get a mango. If you want an apple from a jackfruit tree, you can get an apple. And the earth can give you anything you want. If you want milk, wheat, or anything, you can get it from the earth. The residents of Vrindavan don't wear any golden rings, pearls, or any jewelry. It is not because there is no jewelry in Vrindavan. It is because they like the flowers of Vrindavan. They wear flower jewelry. Every flower is very beautiful and glorious. There is one special flower in heaven called the Parijata flower. Indra, the god of heaven, is very proud because he has the Parijata flower. There are millions of different flowers like the Parijata flower in Vrindavan. Everywhere you will see beautiful flowers. We have had a little experience of this. When we went to Badarika Ashram on Parikrama, there were flowers growing everywhere. It is a natural flower garden. No one gives them any nourishment. They are growing naturally. If you could see this, you would understand there are examples of Vrindavan on earth. Of course, one example is not fully sufficient by itself, but it can give us an idea of the reality of that divine land. All the water in that divine land is like nectar, and the talking is like the sweet singing of birds. From outside, you can't distinguish whether they are talking or singing. You will think they are all singing, but actually they are talking. All the walking in Vrindavan is like dancing. You can't tell the difference between walking and dancing. They are always dancing. The sound of Krishna's flute is always flowing over Vrindavan. Only one song comes from Krishna's flute, and that is the sound of the Gayatri mantra, Om. It can deliver the entire world. Only one sound is necessary to rescue the whole world, and that is the song of Krishna's flute. Jai. Okay, we might stop there. Jai Shri Gurudev. Jai. What to say? Who can say any more than what Gurudev is saying? Okay, then must be Navakishori's turn to sing. Do you want to put this over there then?
Hari Harai Nama Krishnaya Davaya Namaha.
Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshivaya Namaha. Gopala Govindaram Shimanu Sudana. Giridhari Gopinath Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Charger Shilhoda Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat London Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, all the world devotees Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai,